Hey everyone, it's Meg, and welcome back to more Superman the Animated Series reactions. Today I'm so excited because we're watching an episode called Brave New Metropolis, and I have heard stirrings that this is a good one. It's a famous one. And if I'm correct, it is referencing Brave New World, which I think is like right back there. I'm almost positive it's somewhere in that area. But I read this in high school and I really enjoyed it. This is going to be so funny if it's actually not referencing Brave New World. I remember that it was written between World War I and World War II, and it has to do with like the fears of technology advancing and, you know, like where society is headed and all these technological improvements, when Huxley was like, I'm a little nervous about that. Everyone else was excited and he was like, I'm nervous. So, you know, we've already had some kind of sci-fi dystopian exploration elements with Superman. So I think it might deal with that, but I'm just so excited. And if it really is referencing Brave New World, that is so cool because it's a kid's show. It's a freaking kid's show. And are they really gonna explore that? Like fear of technology advancing? Oh, I'm excited. But yes, let's go ahead and watch. And this is episode 12 according to HBO Max. I do think people were saying that Batman was in a weird order, but there's definitely a specific order for Superman. So. And that's Yuna behind me. Brave new Yuna.
It's Kryptonian technology based on the Phantom Zone projector.
But can you really look into other dimensions with it?
In theory, it should be a kind of window.
Oh. So she's interviewing Hamilton separate from Superman for the Daily Planet. She's gonna fall in. Oh man! Oh!
So you still got a few bugs to work out, Professor.
Oh no. But that's a huge thing if like the science lab isn't operational.
Hey, could you help? Nice guy.
He's scared. The men who saved Metropolis. Superman.
Oh! Luthor. The men who saved Metropolis?
No way.
It's 10 o'clock. Curfew time. Superman wishes
curfew!
you all a pleasant evening and a restful sleep. Good night.
Let's have a look at that curfew
So they're
card,
dictators?
ma'am.
Oh no.
Oh, whoops. No purse. I'll just run home.
I don't think so. Now, come on. Some of them rebels just blew in a door. Send backup.
Rebels. There's a rebellion.
Time for a taste of law and order.
Law and order. Oh, is this a dictatorship, but with two? Is that Jimmy? Am I making that up? No, that looks like Jimmy with long hair.
Jimmy?
Lois, you're...
Look out!
Oh my god, I love this. Why hasn't a live action movie done this? Oh my god. He has like eye bags, it looks like he's tired. He's like so tired and cynical.
Come on.
Oh my god, I love this Jimmy. He's a rebel. A revolutionary. Oh, I loved that blue into the red. Wow.
Stay in the shadows. They got surveillance cameras everywhere.
He's so different.
Different? What about you?
What do you mean?
You're supposed to be dead.
Mmm.
put a bomb in your car. Remember?
Sure, but Superman saved me.
He didn't save you. He got there a split second too late.
Oh. And then he turned to Lex? And this is what happened?
He started wearing the black costume, then he teamed up with Luthor, said he wanted to make the city safe again.
Who are they?
People who've lost their jobs, their families,
Refugees.
because they wouldn't go with the program. We're part of the resistance now.
Yep. I love that Jimmy is like such a big player in the resistance.
Superman's not going to be a problem much longer. All we need is the right opportunity.
I mean, in this case, doesn't it make sense, Lois? But also, well, Lois can't stay in this dimension. Mercy. She's probably living for this.
Children to the LexCorp orphanage.
No!
The LexCorp orphanage?
No! My baby! Mommy!
The orphanage reminds me of Brave New World because humans are like farmed there, right? Or like cloned.
But according to this DNA scan, you are Lois Lane.
No question who you are. You're the one thing that's exactly the same.
I was just thinking that he is the same in both dimensions. That's hilarious.
She's definitely the genuine article.
Yep.
If he finds out she's still alive, who knows what he'll do. He's hard enough to work with as it is.
So, you want me to?
Yes, but not here.
I thought that he might get her killed.
Hey, I'm not finished.
I beg to differ.
Angela?
Lois?
Oh!
Lois Lane? Can you loan me $1?
Out
Oh,
of the
she's
way.
homeless. And you see they're not investing anything in infrastructure.
This is Graves at LexCorp. I need...
Isn't this a kid's show? Oh my god, but they need, I mean, I read it as a minor, so it's themes that need to be introduced to kids early on. That kind of choral music? The monument, jeez.
She's on the roof now.
Oh my gosh, she's so epic. That's how powerful she is. Oh. These are beautiful shots on the monument. Wow. He even looks sad and tired in his monument. Is Superman gonna save her? Who's that?
I'll shoot, I swear!
It's Supes. Oh.
Lois?
It's crazy just how one artistic detail can add so much context and emotion. It's just eye bags. 2 little lines underneath his eyes that show how deflated and done he is.
I've wondered if there were other dimensions out there. Other versions of me. And you.
Hold it.
Oh.
I may be a lot like your Lois, but you're nothing like the Superman I know. He's no tyrant.
I had to take control. That if I did enough good, people would follow my example. I didn't realize it was a war. You were a casualty of that war.
You did this because of me? You could have said
Oh.
something. We could have talked about it, figured it out. Now look at you, married to Luthor.
He knows that if he ever tried anything, I'd crush him.
I hate to disillusion you, but he just tried something. He tried to kill me.
Yeah. He can't, he's not seeing clearly. He's like sleepwalking. Oh wow, that looks steampunk.
I swear, all I ever wanted for them was peace, order, tranquility.
Hey, look, it's the alien. Why don't you come down here?
She even loves this Superman. Fascist, yeah, I mean, true. Oh, wow, the symbol, the guards. His suit is pretty awesome, I gotta say.
At ease.
Ooh!
Something troubling you?
I'm having trouble with your job performance.
Oh, you were prepared. I'm like really scared. I don't know what's gonna happen. Because it's an alternate dimension, so the typical rules are off. Yes, Queen! I have a boomy.
I'll be more than their leader. I'll be their savior.
He's so scary.
You can bear witness that I've been on your side all along.
Save it, Luthor.
How do you think they got here? I had Superman stop by on the way over.
Oh! He's just running. He literally made a decision. He was like, am I going to keep trying? No, I'm done. Yes! She's so capable. Sorry, Mercy. Don't let it be a mob attack. Superman, stop them. Whoa, what the hell? It's like a military plane. They don't have the funds to invest in art, architecture, infrastructure, but you better believe he has his private jet. Oh, this different theme. Very different from the original theme. The music's kind of stealing the show for me. Ooh. He blew up the monument of himself. How ironic. Oh my god. So is she gonna leave?
But will the people ever trust me again?
It'll take time.
I've got the time. For them, and for you.
She's gotta go back to her dimension.
Hamilton sent me to bring you back. Hurry, there's not much time. I never thought I'd lose you. Twice.
Oh my god, this is so trippy. This is so sad. Oh.
So that was me?
He looked at him like he knew him, of course.
I could explain it over dinner.
Dinner? Aren't we getting a little personal?
Better now than never.
Here we go. It's happening. It's happening. I think that they're gonna get together. Okay, so that was actually more emotional than I thought for sure. Yeah, I thought it was gonna be all... I mean, there were definitely like sci-fi elements and really smart themes, but you guys know I am run by my emotions. I'm a very big feeler. So the thing that got me was just interdimensional romance, and I'm always thinking of that. I don't know if I'm like a spiritual person or what, but I'm constantly having existential crises. I am, exploring like, why are we here? What is going on? Are there other dimensions, paranormal, aliens, da 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 da. So to see that their love is strong through all those different iterations of themselves, and it's almost like it wasn't an accident, and she was meant to go to that dimension and help him realize like Lois isn't dead everywhere, and Lois needs to stay alive in your heart so you don't fuck it up and ally with Luthor and ruin everything, it's like trippy and it's really beautiful and it makes me emotional because I think about my love, my husband, and like what I would do. But if he came to me, like if he died and then came to me from another dimension, it was just like, you gotta keep it strong. And maybe that's what ghosts are. Kind of like Interstellar. So that's why I'm like, this is a really, dense sci-fi episode. And my favorite sci-fi has a lot of emotions to it, because I was just talking about with The Expanse. I just finished season 3. And there's so, like, even though it's like a new frontier and you're exploring space and there's all these technological advancements and all of those elements, it's still a story about humanity and our basic emotions. And like, even more so than other genres, it's like, really, okay, what do we have here on Earth and what do we have between us as humans? And I definitely felt that, where it's like, oh my God, I noticed this sci-fi element and this and this and this, and it's dystopian and steampunk. But what it comes down to is Superman always needs Lois, and like that love and that emotion is so supernatural, and it's so big, and it can travel across dimensions. I just thought it was so cool and it was so smart. But I loved, the certain steampunk elements, like the amber, the bronze, and that's very dystopian. The Resistance itself was like so perfect to me because they had the typical, wardrobe that you see with actual real life resistance groups, but also that trope in media, and like the kind of ripped, like dystopia. Being led by Jimmy Olsen is just perfect. And I'm really shocked that they haven't used that version of Jimmy somewhere. And then to create a kind of unlikely hero because Superman fell through and like couldn't fight Luthor and just didn't have the strength because he lost to Lois. And then to know that Jimmy rises up in that version, it's just really cool. And then of course, just like the dictatorship elements of it all, the monuments, humongous monuments to Luthor and Superman, and then everything else being run down and destroyed. Like there's no money going to schools or housing or like anything that really matters to the general public. And then watching the fall, like Angela was a news reporter, right? And she's the main news person. And of course they're going to replace her, because if she is a journalist or a newscaster with integrity, they're going to replace her with someone who's just like a little spokesperson. Control of the press is a huge thing with propaganda and dictatorships. So I love that Lex was exactly the same. And it's like, that's kind of comforting because it shows like he can't be changed. He just is who he is. And if he really gets a hold of things, he's already so evil, but he could really be capable of evil things. Like he's not going to change. There's not, I mean, maybe there's a dimension where he changes, but I like the idea that he's just the same. He even through environmental, the nature versus nurture debate, environmental aspects and changes, he's still a bad dude. And he's just, but I also love that he's still like composed and, a trickster, and he still has that composure and charisma. I just really liked that. And Mercy was like thriving in this because law and order is such a huge thing. If you, spoiler alert, if any politician is pushing law and order to you, guaranteed history textbook, all you have to do is look at any fucking thing that happened in the past with humans, and you'll see that is such a huge step in the dictator propaganda direction, fascism. And Jimmy Olsen used the word fascist. I freaking love that. Like, yes, let's introduce that to kids early on. And to put in a scene where a kid is being separated from their mom, happening right now at the border of America. You know, this was such a political episode as well. And you just can't do sci-fi without politics. That's why when people are like, no, why ain't bringing that up? I'm just trying to enjoy Star Wars. Sorry, buddy. It's political AF. What? They're like, oh, what's the point of the droids? Everything. The droids are everything in the Star Wars movies. They represent so much about like where we're headed, anxieties about where we're headed, you know, the ethics of it all. And I just wish I need to watch that episode again, because there's probably so many little things. The Lex Corp orphanage, which means the orphanage is for profit, which, by the way, there still are for-profit orphanages, and adoption is really messed up if you look into it. The fact that he owns it, and it's like how many kids were displaced or like taken away because all that woman was doing was protesting. And those rebels were just like trying to live. And that scene was just so impactful, the kid being taken away and then being reunited. And then, you know, I think to friggin' tie it up, I would love to hear what you guys think and the stuff that you picked up on. But to tie it up, the main thing is like, the freaking Lois Lane is awesome, okay? Lois Lane is so important to Superman. There is no Superman without Lois. A few months ago, I was talking to the kids who live beside us. They're playing basketball, and a kid was wearing a Superman shirt. And I was like, oh my gosh, you know, I love Superman. He was like, yeah, he's so cool. And I was like, yeah, and what about Lois? And he was like, who? And he's just a little kid, so he's not gonna know. But I was like, oh my gosh, she's Superman's girlfriend and she's so amazing. I was telling him, he was like, oh yeah, his girlfriend. Yeah, I like her. I just wish that they could get exposed to the animated series, kids who are growing up, because it's such a lovely message. It's so feminist. She's a huge part of it. Not only is she capable, she can dodge, she can fight Mercy, who's actually trained. She can change the course of history. Her death and like her actions are just as important as Superman, if not even more important. So I just love her. And especially in the animated series, I love her. There is no Superman without Lois Lane. And she was so brave to be in the new dimension and not tripping out, you know? And I also feel like she's an example, and Jimmy Olsen is an example of how Superman operates, because he wants everyone to be heroes and he allows everyone to be heroes. And his goal, like to hear that from him in his own words, he thought it was just a kind of simple thing where he would lead by example and then people would follow along. And the main thing, look at that. Oh my goodness. Yuna. So sweet. She's so sheepy. If we could all just be a Shiba in the sun. Oh my gosh, you're so cute. Sorry. He wants other people to learn. It's so Jesus. Jesus is like, I'm not going to give a man a fish, whatever it is. I'm going to teach a man how to fish. That's Superman. And that clicked for me. How many Superman things have I watched in the past year and a half? So many. And then I finally learned, not finally, but like I learned something just so important about him. Because I put those expectations on him sometimes too, where I'm like, why aren't you, you know, I do that with Batman especially as well. But I'm like, you could change politics. You could, you know, run Lex out of business. You could do this. You could do this. And it's like, no, wait a second. He's like a prophet, you know? There's the biblical elements as well, and the religious elements. He's leading by example. It really is similar to like Jesus or Muhammad or Siddhartha. So I love that. Like, I really feel like Superman could be a religion. That's a little that's a little much, but it's true. And also, you know, there were a lot of religious elements and in this episode, and I love the tie-in with sci-fi and humans wondering, you know, what's happening spiritually? Why are we here? It goes hand in hand. And we've seen that with The Expanse too. You can't really have sci-fi without at least some religious exploration, you know, the Buddhism with the Jedis and Star Wars. And you think that it's going to be counterintuitive, and you think that if you're going to venture into space, you're not going to be thinking about organized religion or spirituality as much, but it's actually the opposite. That's why I think 1 in 3 scientists believe in some type of god or gods. The more, like, I've heard this so much that that scientists, the more they learn, realize, wow, we don't know frickin' anything. It's not like we're getting closer, we're actually getting more confused. And that elicits a kind of faith from that mystery. And that's exciting to me. I hope that I always have the mystery. You know, I don't want to like solve everything about why we're here. That sounds boring. So how amazing is it that this show, this animated superhero episode, could cause such a discussion like this? It's just so cool. And thank you so much for encouraging me to watch it and for talking to me about it. I cannot wait to hear what you think. Thank you so much to my tier 4 patrons, John G. Robinson, Louie, B. Vega, and Light Yagami for producing this video, and all the other patrons and YouTube channel members. Thank you. And my Superman homies, you're so awesome. And the way that this world and this dimension is being held up, you're essential to it. You have a place in things. You're very important. And maybe give a little wave to another version of yourself in a different dimension. I'm going to be talking to her. I think I'm going to be talking to a different Meg and giving her strength and getting strength from her. We just went to church. Anyways, love you guys so much. Bye.